Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 30th of May for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you the standout issues and strands to look out for. Please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail each of the 12 zodiac sign forecasts. Now this week of course begins with a new moon in Gemini. Now, Gemini energy is all about how we think. It's very nimble and agile, can be very amusing, very much to do with sharing ideas and interacting in a bright and bubbly way. But of course, the moon is very much how we feel about things, and the sign of Gemini is very much more about how we assess things from a more logical viewpoint. So one of the things that we can do over the next month is to meld our drive and our ideas much more closely to how we actually feel. So it's an opportunity for sure. Now, this is also a week when Mars and Jupiter continue to be very closely together. The exact conjunction actually happened as last week came to a close. So that combination can give us a lot of thrust, a lot of traction, a lot of enthusiasm in the sign of Aries. That's very much about getting things off the ground. But both the position of Mars and Jupiter are forging a relatively positive angle to Venus, which of course has now returned to the sign of Taurus, which it governs. So that thrust and the ideas energy that the new moon has given us in Gemini can certainly see us working towards making the most of our resources, which Venus in Taurus can be very good at grappling with. It can also give us an appreciation of good food and good wine and more sensual pleasures as well. But then on Friday, Mercury ends its retrograde, also in the sign of Taurus. So, we've all being challenged by this new financial reality which is kicking in, and it has been retrograde since the 10th of May and in the sign of Taurus since the 23rd of May. But then on Saturday, Mercury comes out of shadow, but also Saturn goes into a retrograde in the sign of the people, the collective, the sign of Aquarius. So it's possible through to the 23rd of October that we're going to be more mindful, I think, over a period of time of how connected we are to one another. I'm going to do a special on the fact that Saturn and Uranus are going to go through a square again within 3 degrees from the 11th of August. So please look out for that. But the other thing to tell you is that Mercury, despite that retrograde, is actually in a very subtle but powerful link to Neptune. So one of the things that we can do this week is listen to our hunches, because they can serve us very well indeed. So Gemini, your weekly forecast for week commencing the 30th of May obviously celebrates that glorious new moon in your sign. If you want to bring into your situation fresh energy to ongoing strands, or start something from scratch, the great news about this new moon is it helps you to balance the drive and core energy of the sun with your instincts, and that's a really good thing to do. Now, of course, one of your great gifts is that you can be so effervescent, but the moon is saying, do listen to your inner voice, particularly with the fact that both Mercury and Venus, although Mercury's emerging from a retrograde this week, they are in your 12th house. So that's asking you, particularly around relationships, to really, carefully consider what you want, and also be understanding of what others may require from you. But the passion of the combination of Jupiter and Mars in your sector of friendship and the longer term future, but the subtlety that they're forging with Venus in a very delicate and a very spiritual part of your situation suggests that whatever you're wanting at the moment, there has to be some kind of deeper root to it for you to feel fulfilled. And I think, obviously, for you, being governed by the sign of Mercury, Mercury going direct could just ease some of the anxieties and tensions and stress that may have been more to the fore, particularly since the 23rd of May. But I think Saturn going into a retrograde suggests that from now through to the 23rd of October, anything to do with travel, higher education, publishing, contracts, you will need to work hard and be very diligent in those areas to really get the progress you need. It's not that progress isn't possible, but we really have to work very smartly, very efficiently, and in a very focused way to make Saturn work for us, and particularly in this long retrograde.